Hi there, I'm IceMan and welcome to my first ever Summer's Glory video. If you don't know me already, I currently do videos on a game called Raid Shadow Legends. Some of you may have seen me, some of my content from that. If not, doesn't matter. We're not doing about that game here, we're doing about this game. So for my first video I thought I would do a proper in-depth beginner's guide to Summoner's Glory, what it is, how it works, where you can download it, basically everything that might confuse you, and we'll take it from there. So anyway, let's jump into it, shall we? So first things first, you're going to want to download the game. To be fair, if you're actually watching this, there's a good chance that you already have downloaded the game, so you don't need to know that bit. You can skip this bit if you need to. If you are watching one of my videos because you're a subscriber already, or you just happen to be curious about the game before installing it, basically if you want to download it, it depends where you're going to play it. If it's on iOS or Android, just go to the respective store, Play Store on Android and the Apple Store on iOS obviously. And if you want to play it on your desktop, you need to play it on something called BlueStacks. BlueStacks, you can download, Google it, it's easy enough to find it. It's basically an Android emulator. You then put in your account details, all the rest of it, for the same as what you use for Android, for your Google account or whatever it is. Now, to find the game, you can search within BlueStacks, but it won't find it. So what you want to do is, once you've loaded up BlueStacks, there's an option to go to the Play Store, as if you're on your phone. So do that, and then search Summoner's Glory on there, and install it from that, and that will work fine. Once you've installed it, you come to a page like this. You create your account, which I've skipped that bit, but it's just basically putting in an email, putting in a password, and then it brings you to this page. So your next step is to pick the server you want. There's 3 different servers currently. If we bring them up, you can see like this. So you've got 3 servers: Virtuoso, Narelle, or however you pronounce it, Phantom's Glory, the 3rd one. For today's video, we're going to be starting an account, a brand new account, on server 3. I usually play my main account on server 1, and if you want to join me, by all means come on to server 1. So here we go, Phantom's Glory. Click on it, tap to start game, and this is the page it will bring up for you. So here you create your character. It really doesn't matter that much, obviously. It's more about male, female. What looks you pick actually don't really matter that much, because later on in the game you will find out that what gear you equip changes how your character appears. Obviously you're picking male, female, but what colour your hair is and your outfit and stuff like that will all just change depending on what you're wearing. So I like female characters because I like to look at pretty girls. I'm not going to be shy about that. I like looking at pretty girls rather than looking at guys, so you know, I pick a female character. There's different options for skins. You can go for this one, you can go for this one, and then change it to this. So you get a blonde one with pink, which I think is what I went for my main. As I say, it doesn't actually really affect once you're in the game, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Down here you've got a promo code bit. Now I don't currently have a promo code, I'm not in their content creator program, so I'll just give you one for one of my fellow content creators that I'm a big fan of. I've been following him for over a year. Gentleman by the name of Hell Hades. He does videos for Raid Shadow Legends, and he does videos for Summoner's Glory as well. So if you want to get some free stuff, basically put his code in here. Doesn't matter which server you pick. Him and myself and a bunch of other people, we play on server 1, but it doesn't matter which server you play on, and it's not case sensitive, so you don't need to worry about it. Just put in Hell, however you want to spell it. Well, obviously it's got to be spelt right, H-E-L-L, but whether or not you type it all caps, whether or not you do a first letter caps, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. Then we pick a character name. So I'm going to go for IceMan Gaming 1. hit create, and it will start up. Now some elements here I will cut out so that you're not seeing every single screen. If we played through it all and do for an hour's play, this will be a very long video. You have an interesting story. That's the one good thing I will say about this game. It's a mixture between games like Raid, which are hero collectors, and you're basically battling it out in various areas, be it campaign, be it dungeons, be it clan-based boss or guild-based bosses, things like that. In this, all of that is true as well, to be fair, but there's more of an RPG element to it, and it's actually a fairly interesting story. So you can watch the story video. I'm going to skip because obviously I've seen it before and we don't need it for this video. Again, I'm going to skip. There's some of the best characters in the game here, or at least a couple of them. We've got Arthur here on the second in from the right, and the middle one, Goddess Zoe or something like that. And those are two of the best characters you can get. Merlin here on the far right is also a very good character. I'm not sure about these other two. One of them is actually fairly easy to get. I've never used him. He's not what you'd call meta. I must admit, his kit sounded okay, so if it's what you get early on, I certainly wouldn't not go for it. And obviously we'll cut on to the actual game from here, and we'll get going. Obviously that's Morganta, the big bad of the game. We're not actually in control at this point anyway, we're not doing anything, you're just seeing them fight. It's more for story at this stage. I must admit, I do like the name Zoe. I actually have a little niece called Zoe. So you have this little story bit. We'll skip that little bit of the battle there was no point in it. To be fair, there's no point in this, we're going to skip this as well. I mean, there's no point for this video. By all means watch it, enjoy it. There's a few rough edges around the story. Little things that the developers are trying to take on board, like the fact that if you're a female character it will still refer to you as he. This sort of thing has been fed back to them and they are working on it. So you start off at this point and you follow the tooltips as it goes along. The game actually has a very good tutorial. There's a few things that it does miss. This chap is Zeus, who actually I really like as an SS champion. I use him on my main account. Obviously it then shows you, and you can follow this along, shows you how to equip them into your party. And then when you click on these quests, obviously you get your results and everything. So obviously you click through the bits of story now, and it moves you along quite nicely. You end up at this point talking to this person. You get the reward. Again, you add this guy to your formation. He's actually a phantom, even though they don't sort of say that in the story. Now, before we get any further on, I want to cover a couple of things quickly. So, obviously you get these phantoms early on. They're not great phantoms. Do not invest a lot into them. What you want to be investing into is SS tier phantoms. There are numerous guides out there on which ones are good, although most of those cover the top class ones. There are a couple of videos that cover some of the lower ones, and you know, if you played these games before, you can read through the kits and see what they do. We'll discuss movement because they don't really show you this at the start. They kept showing you how you click on quests and it will take you to the quest location. So there's a couple of ways to move around in this game. The first one is the joystick here. It's actually, I missed it initially because it's so faint. You almost don't see it. So you've got this little joystick and you move it around and that moves your character around. Also, you can click on the quest and it will automatically take you to the quest location and quite often start the dialogue and everything else. So this game can be very AFK friendly, or you can be as involved as you want. It's good that way. The other way you can move around maps and area to area is you can open up the map. You can click on the map like this, and this will take you to a little area. It won't show you now because we need to be in this area, but you can click on the world map and this shows you the rest of the areas you can go to. You can then click on any one of these that you need to go to and it will take you there. So those are the three ways of moving around in this game. While we're here and we're currently not doing a quest, we might as well discuss all these windows on the screen because there are a lot of them and it does get a little bit confusing. So if we start down here obviously you've got your backpack. This is what your character is wearing or can wear, and you click on an item and you can equip it. Click on an item like this which has diamonds which you can use to buy things in game. They're your sort of general in-game currency. Here you have Vigor. This is basically energy. It allows you to do runs in certain areas. Some areas don't actually require it, which is great. It means that there's always something you can be doing even if you're out of energy. And then you've got gold over here. There are other places where you can see this as well. The one thing I will say is gold is a finite resource and very rare in this game. It seems early on in the game that it's extremely abundant, you get loads of it, you're no problem, but by the time you start getting past level 60, and most max level players I think are up to sort of 180 and stuff like that, when you get to about level 60, which is fairly quick, you'll do it within a couple of weeks more than likely, maybe even within a few days. Gold then starts to become more scarce and you need to start farming it and things like that. What can help you with this is joining a guild. And there's guild missions and other missions that can give you gold in the game. We will show you. So this is the backpack and we showed you the various different types of energy and resources you have in the game. This is your activity tab. This is pretty much everything you can do in the game, more or less. There's a couple of other bits, but for the most part, this is it. Each of these unlocks at a later stage as you level up. So they're not all available straight away. Straight away, you've got Phantom Abode, but this will be introduced as you follow the story along, so we won't go into this too much just yet. You've got and they even give you a nice little tooltip telling you what each one does. So this one is basically like a campaign mode, Phantom Abode, and you go through it and you get basically what is gear for your phantoms, but in this game it's called runes. So these runes are basically effectively gear and sets for your phantoms to make them more powerful, give them better stats, and you can farm those and summoning books and experience and essence of life, which you use to level up your phantoms. Here again, essence of life is something we haven't discussed yet, we will do in a minute. It's also a finite resource in this game and we'll explain to you how you get more of that. Obviously you can get it from things like this. Doing runs will give you essence of life, and there are other ways of getting essence of life quicker, faster, but again it is a finite resource, so don't think it's going to last forever, because what you get early on lasts a while but then it starts to run shy again. You've effectively got gear farming there. You can also do gear farming here, runes and summoning books, and experience phantoms. Experience phantoms are very good. They help you level up your phantoms. When you pull a new phantom that is better than what you've currently got, it will these leveling phantoms and whatnot will help you level up your characters to a decent level. Now, what these look like, I can't currently show you unless we jump onto my other account, which we might do in a minute, so I can show you. But basically, if you look at phantoms, it looks like a little flame, a flame phantom. Not a person, but actually a flame. And then there are a couple of similar ones that actually are little people phantoms that are flames, and they say XP on them. There's one that says XP and skill up or something like that, and when you hover over it, it'll tell you what it does anyway. And it basically guarantees a skill up on one of your phantom skills. Now, we're going to say straight off, you'd be tempted to use those when you get them early on. Don't. There's no point leveling S tier phantoms, you want SS tier phantoms, and even then I would say hold on to these flames initially. You're going to be getting plenty of experience leveling up the phantoms you've pulled, and you're pulling as you go along initially, and later on you're going to pull better phantoms that you really want to push up there, at which point you're going to need all of those to do so quickly. So, and you definitely want to save the skill up ones for like top tier champions that are actually harder to get, because the way you upgrade skills in this game, in fact let's show you this as we're talking about it now. Obviously we've talked about the activity window there. There's also the adventure window. This is an area where you can do like a level 40, it's not a dungeon exactly, but a little run which gives you gold. There's varying different levels of it. This one gives you experience phantoms. It's only open for certain days and times, so at the moment you can't farm gold from this, and these are actually open, and they're only open, as you can see, for like the next 10 hours. Then it will be these open, and I think they alternate or something like that, or these might only be open for 1 or 2 days a week. There is a guild boss that you can do. Many guilds aren't doing it because it's currently broken. The reward system isn't working right for it. So if we go down and we look at this right hand section here, this is a third panel. Yes, I know there are a lot of panels in this game. It's the one thing that gets a bit confusing. This is kind of your main panel for leveling everything up. You can break down gear and improve gear at the blacksmith. You can craft certain items in game. You can change your formation. You can see all the phantoms you've got. You get stuff from your career as you're doing things. You get rewards, which we'll show you in a minute when it happens. And then obviously phantoms. So we said take a look at phantoms, and this is your phantom page. And he's a basic phantom. Obviously, like I said, I would not level up an S tier phantom, but the way you do it is this. You come down, you hit on evolution. He's a mage, so he's a damage dealer of some sort. You come over here and you can see all this information on him. This tells you what its health is, what type of attack he does, physical or magic, his defense, his speed, his crit, all of that. And then here you can actually click on each of his skills and see what they do. So obviously, like his first attack that attacks all enemies and deals 140% magic damage. Now, what we were talking about leveling up skills, imagine he's an SS tier champ, and basically each of these champions, you can get an A class champ, an S tier class champ, and an SS class tier champ. And you only want to be ranking up to use SS tier champs once you start pulling them. This chap can skill up this skill so that it starts doing 140% damage. On level 2 it does 160, on level 3 it does 180, and this is true for each of his skills. If you go along and you read what they do, each of these skills can be increased. So how do you increase these skills, you're asking? Well, that's what I was talking about. So you come along over here to upgrade, just down by his name, and then in here later on you will have a whole host of phantoms, and this is where you'll have those flame phantoms that you can put into him to level him up. Now you can just put in other phantoms like this and level him up, but that is generally considered a waste. It's not a good idea to do it. You can get XP from all the different runs in the game you're doing and stuff, and also mainly from collecting those flame XP phantoms. They're the best way of doing it. So it's not considered a good idea to waste phantoms by burning them into other phantoms like that, as tempting as that sometimes is. So as I said, flame XP phantoms will level him up, but there's 2 ways of increasing the rank of a skill. That is one of those little chaps that says it will automatically rank up a skill when you get them, and they're quite rare. And the other way is if you get an SS tier copy of a champion, and he is an SS tier champion, that guarantees you a skill up for one of his skills. Just one skill up for one skill, but it's guaranteed 100% if it's an SS tier champion, duplicate of himself. If it's an S tier champion, there's a 10% chance only, which is quite small really, of ranking up one of his skills. The A class doesn't do anything like that. So while we're talking about that, we'll talk about food. and evolution. I know this is a lot to take on, but you can always refer to different areas of this video, and we're trying to be in depth as we can, but also be not trying to be too confusing. And since we're on this screen, we're going to carry on talking on about it. So as we said, you can skill him up via the skill people phantoms that do it, little red fiery dudes that say they will do this for you, and also the duplicate SS tier will automatically do it. Now if you want to evolve him, and you need to evolve him because basically at the moment he's an unevolved champion and his max level is 40. So when you increase his evolution, his max level will then be 60, and so on and so forth. Each evolution basically gives them like 20 levels. Now to evolve a champion, we can't actually show you that just yet because it actually unlocks after story 1. So in fact we'll leave that for the moment. We'll carry on through the story and then we'll come back to it. So talking about all this, so you've seen this is your formation, character, leaderboards. Magic Cannon will you come to later, but it basically gives you these enchants, which, how do I describe them? They're like an extra skill that you use in battle. Now you can either use these on auto or control them yourself for better value, because you can time them better yourself than the computer can, in theory. And that's where you deal with that, and that unlocks quite a bit later, around level 60 I think it is. Guild, you'll open up this window once you join a guild, and I don't think you can actually do that at this level. So you've got to be level 20 for that. Now we were talking about getting that essence of life. This is where you get essence of life, is sacrifice, which again you can't do until after story 2 at this point, and you don't need to at this stage. You won't need to, but you need to know it for later. And the way this works is basically you've got your whole list of phantoms, and you've got A tier, S tier and double S tier. The rule of thumb is SS tier champions are used to fight if they're good, and if they're not good, they're used as food to rank up your evolve your champions at a higher level. The reason I say at a higher level is because at a lower level you don't need SS tier champions to do it. You can do it with A tier champions, whereas at a higher level you need SS tier champions to do it, so you don't waste them on low evolution tiers. You save them for high evolution tiers. So the rule of thumb is SS tier champions get used or fed on high level evolutions. S tier champions get sacrificed. Now because of another area in the game, which actually we will get off this just to show you quickly in the activity bit, it's quite a handy bit. This Anabasis unlocks in story chapter 5, so we can't do it at the moment. Basically it gives you 4 missions that you can set going, and you basically send 4 of your phantoms off to go and try and get this reward for you. 4 of your phantoms off to go and get this reward for you, and it will ask you to select 4 specific phantoms of a specific class. So a good rule of thumb, so you can do your Anabasis missions, which can get you some good stuff, and it's well worth having them going all the time basically. A good rule of thumb for this is even champions you're feeding, even champions you're evolving, try and keep 1 copy of everything spare, so that you've got them for your Anabasis missions. It might mean sometimes you still won't be able to get 100%. You can still send other champions on these missions and get rewards from them, but if you select those 4 specific champions, you will get a higher reward, and your percent chance of getting the higher reward depends on how many of those champions you have. So if you have 1, you've got a 25% chance. If you've got 2, it's a 50. If you've got 3, it's 75. 4, 100%. So obviously you want to try and have those champions to send on these missions. So the rule of thumb is A-class champions are used as low tier evolution food, and you evolve them to evolution level 1 and evolution level 2. Evolution level 2 you won't even need until you're a bit higher up, but obviously you will then need it, so bear that in mind. But you don't really take them any higher than that. You then use the level 2 ones initially to level your SS tier champions that you're using, up, and then after that you will use them to level up SS tier champions that you will then also use as food for your main champions. So that's a rule of thumb, and the S tier champions get fed, as we said, sacrificed. In this hamburger menu here, you go to sacrifice, you click on the duplicate S tier champions that you don't need, try and save one of every champion, basically, is a good idea. And it's the same when you're evolving the A class, again try and save one of everyone so that you've got one there to use and send on these missions. Sacrifice gives you essence of life, which you need to evolve champions, and the requirement gets higher the higher you get, obviously. So that's these three windows discussed. We'll come over to the left here quickly. So you've got a Discord thing. I've not done anything with that really, but it basically takes you to their Discord server and stuff. I am on it. It's a good idea to do. You can get advice there and help there and whatnot. You've got your share button. Now this is quite handy. Obviously you can share with people and you get these rewards. Now if you get somebody to play, you'll get a gold book. If you don't have anybody that's likely to take the invitation, doesn't matter, you can still get yourself 2 Vigor potions here, which give you free Vigor to use and play the game basically. So the way you do this is you hit the share button. You can then share it in this method, or there are some other methods. Click away from that, click copy. Click copy again because it doesn't always work the first time. And it fools the game into thinking you've shared and you've done that, so you at least get the potions. If you've got people you can share with and you're going to get them playing, great, you'll get books as well. That's good. So we'll close out of that. It did actually open up another window. There are a couple of ways to open some of these windows. That's one of them, I'm afraid, and it gets a bit confusing, and this is why we're taking it slowly and doing each section, because there are a lot of them and it does get a bit confusing and it will take you a while to learn your way around the interface. It's the one thing I don't like about this game, is it is a little bit on the confusing side. Now later on you will get XP potions, I want to say, that sort of thing, cards, whatever, and they will basically boost your Phantom XP for X amount of time. And if you want to know how long you've got left on that timer, you come over to this effects button on the very left, and that will tell you you've got a bonus effect telling you how much XP you're getting. Your squad window, basically, if you're doing this is very much like an MMO, where you can actually go in and do dungeons and battles against bosses and stuff as a group with 2 other players, and that's where your squad window comes up. And then you've got this battle assistant here. Now the battle assistant is an absolutely brilliant feature in this game. It basically means that, say I've not done Goddess yet, I've not done Phantom Abode yet because we're right at the start of the game. However, you can send champions off for X amount of Vigor, and in the background your battle assistant will be going off and doing this mission and then coming back to you with the rewards. And at the moment you can do it for the Phantom Abode, the Element Lord, Phantasmagoria and the Goblin Trove, and that's about it. The Demon Fortress is not currently yet available. They're hoping it will be in a upcoming patch. And that's the battle assistant, which is great. So that's those windows. If you click on your portrait up here, it opens up a settings window where you can adjust the sound, graphics quality, how many models are on screen, all of that sort of stuff. And you can see your user ID, how many phantoms you've collected. It's not something you'll use very often, but it's useful knowing where it is if you want to change those settings. Then you've got this whole box of windows here. So first off, you've got your time limited gift. This is basically a pack they put out there that they want you to buy. It's not terrible value, it's not brilliant value, it's not stupidly expensive, it's not, I mean, I've not bought it myself, I don't think it's worth it. But if you want to, you can, and that pops up there. Occasionally you will get, in fact we've got it, you've got this Newbie Gift. Now this one I do actually feel is quite good value, and I did purchase this on my main. I'm not saying you have to, by all means you don't have to. It just means that you actually get for £5 you can get this one, or just under £5, £4.50 or whatever. You get this one, which gives you an SS class summoning book, which automatically gives you an SS class random champion. You know you will get this Lunar Goddess and this Sea Conqueror, both of which are actually very good champions. The SS class Phantom Zeus, again a very good champion, very good CC, and the SS class Phantom Jester. There is another way of getting this chap, which we'll cover in a minute. He is a very good champion though, so I did buy these. I think they were a good value. You're talking just over £30, and you get all of this and some very good basic champions to level up and take you through the game, and they are very good for that. Up here you will occasionally get a similar box to this time limited gift pop up, and it's basically when you hit certain rank level milestones, and it's basically them trying to sell you a pack for that. Some of them are actually very good value, under £1. It's worth it, I think, so I usually grab those ones. You've got one for your first payment. It doesn't matter how small the payment is, you will get this SS class champion, this gold, these summoning books. Now I'm talking about this, and we have been shown how to summon, so we're going to cover this area now, because I don't want you to run off and buy these packs and go, oh, I've got these great summoning books, we're going to use them. So the summoning book page is here. You can open bronze books, basically give you phantoms, fragments. Silver books give you more A-class phantoms. Gold books give you more S-class phantoms with a small chance of SS-class phantoms. And then epic summoning books give you a much higher chance of getting SS class champions. So they are obviously the best book in the game to have. Now don't go pulling these yet, save them. Save your epic summoning books. I'm stressing this very, very strongly. Do not go, oh, I bought these packs, I want to use them and summon these. Do not use those yet. By all means, go ahead, use your gold ones, and if you've got more than 6, you can click on this button here, and what you do is you click that, then you click the middle, and you will summon 6 at a time. It's the same for the silver, it's very good, it's very economical. Your epics are pulled 1 at a time. Now the reason I say don't pull these yet is when you go to pull this, a little graphic comes up, and a whole bunch, in fact we'll show you in a minute. I'll pop over to my main account and we'll show that, but basically for the moment just bear in mind, do not use epic summoning books until later in the game, and we'll explain why. Okay, so going along here, you've got all these windows still as we discussed. This one, claim, basically gives you online rewards. Now unlike some games, like I play Raid as a main game currently, although I'm kind of half spending more time on this actually than I am on that. On Raid you can leave your, you also get login rewards that build up over time. On there you can just leave it, and then after X amount of times passed you can go in and just go click 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 and collect them all. In this game that doesn't happen. So what you need to do is make sure that you come in every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes and collect one of these to start the timer on the next one. If you just wait till the end of the day and come in, the only one that will have unlocked is the next one you've unlocked. So you do need to regularly pop on just to collect these, and obviously it's good stuff. Silver book, free energy or vigor, more books, gems, more books, more vigor, more gems. It's good stuff, and it's totally free. All it takes is you to come in and click it every day. Next up we have the guide. Now for the most part nobody really uses these ones, and I certainly don't. It just basically gives you an idea of where you go to do different things. Treasure maps, we're not going to cover those in this video in depth, but basically you get them in the game. They tell you to go to a certain location. You go to that location, a little dig icon will appear when you click on the mission. You click on the mission, dig in that location, and you can get a treasure chest which gives you a few little bits. The important one here is the daily quest. So you do these where it says evolve a phantom 1 time, and then you collect so many points. Use gold summoning books 6 times, use silver books 12 times, donate to the guild, duel any player, increase rune level, one time spend 400 diamonds, increase phantom level, smelt equipment at the blacksmiths, all these different little missions. You don't have to do them all, and as you unlock these, it also unlocks these chests, which also give you some good little goodies. And once you've unlocked that top one, that's the main one, you can do these. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to spend. I know one of them says spending game. You do not have to spend every day, and you can still claim all of these rewards very easily. It's a good window to be aware of and be checking back on regularly to know what's up, give you an idea of what you should be doing to get some good bonuses. And then, funny enough, next we have the bonuses box, and as you can see, this is lit up, and there's a whole lot here. So I've got this login bonus, login for 1 day, you collect that. Tomorrow when you log in, you will get another thing, and these are those flames I was talking about. They look like this. These are the simple, just give you XP to level up your phantoms, not to skill up your phantoms. These, when you look at them, these are the runes that are effectively gear, and you get various different ones of those and stuff, and books. Here we go. This is a good idea. I think this one is a skill phantom. So yeah, it even says skill phantom when you look at it. So this one will give you some level, but it will also give you a skill, and this is what they look like. And you actually get one for just logging in for 8 days. As I say, don't use them, save them, you will need them later on. You get quite a lot of these, it's really handy. You start getting epic summoning books, growth gifts, you get these for every time you reach a level mile mark. Newbie gifts, you get these for doing certain things like add X amount of friends, evolve 20 phantoms. They do give you a lot in this game for just playing. It's really cool. The tea room, now this is where getting on Discord or in a guild or something that tells you can be really handy. Effectively, every day between 11:30 and 12:30, it's already gone for me today, and I did get it on my main, but obviously it's too late to get it now. During that time period, you can click on this one and get 60 gems. During the evening one, 18:30 to 19:30, you can click on this one and again get more gems. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on this, work out when it is in your time zone, and you can just get some free gems basically, so that's great. King of Patience is basically completing level 100 of the Doom Tower, gets you these rewards, that's all that is. And Arthur's Trove, basically you collect these things as you go along, you can then get these rewards as you're collecting these little bits. It's sort of a little gamey thing going on. The same here with the Merlin's lessons, win so many battles, complete, and you get rewards. Path to Perfection, again it's evolve, do this, do that, you get these rewards and you collect them as you go along. Effectively, that's what all of this is, all the way down here for the most part. Big Spender's an interesting one. This is Ankaris. She is one of the best DPS champions in the game, hands down. Everybody wants her, and if you pay $100, you get her. It's weird actually that it says $100 because I had to pay £100, which quite frankly is actually more closer to $140, which I do think is quite a rip-off. But you know, if you spend in other areas of the game, you're buying the packs and stuff. Once you've spent 100, you will automatically get her. She won't be skilled up, which is why I say save all your skill phantoms in particular, but your leveling phantoms are a good idea too, to save for good champions that you want to be pushing up and leveling up to start using. The skill ones in particular, because she's very hard to get unless you're willing to spend a lot of money to get all her skills up. As you see, you can spend a lot of money and get her skills up higher and higher. You can pull her from summoning books, but she's very rare. You're a lot less likely to do so. So it's not a good idea to plan on that. Whereas if you save those skill up ones, you can rank her skills up from that. Public Warrant is more of the same thing. Do X amount to get. Daily sharing is why we saw this screen before, because it's part of that. So you can access it over there, you can access it in here. And then if you haven't already put in a promo code, and you didn't do it at the start, but you want to get some free stuff, a couple of summoning books and whatnot, that sort of thing, you can also enter codes here. So that was bonuses. You also get a check-in one. This is similar to your login daily. It basically is the same, it's just in a different window. But this one, you basically get these rewards, and X amount of days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, blah blah, up to day 21, you get yourself a free Jester. And he's a decent champion, he's a very good champion, especially to carry you up early game. He's just a bit RNG, so he doesn't tend to be as highly used towards endgame. But as an early on champion that you can get for free after 21 days, he's a very solid, good champion. So keep coming in every day, keep collecting your stuff, and you will get him. And he, like I say, he's a good champion. See, 5 minutes has passed, so we can unlock that. And now the next timer starts on the next one. The shop. In here, you can buy a summoning book, a gold one, for 1 gem every day. You can buy other bits in here. I tend to spend on Vigor, mostly. Other than that, I don't think there's much that's really great value in here. Maybe backpack expender when you need it, but to be fair, I've not filled my backpack yet, so it's not necessary early on. Then you can come over here and you get gifts. Again, it's the same sort of thing. You spend money instead of gems to get these things. I don't actually bother with this one. But this one is free, and it gives you 25 gems. So even if you haven't got any gems, you can get your gems, then go in and do your activity one and get your free one that way. You can get these phantoms, but they're only S tier champions, so they're not very good. Now, as you level up, pull champions, you're pulling champions, you'll see like a count going up to 300. Every 300, you get one of these crystals. And so obviously at 900 you can summon yourself a secret dancer. She's actually a very good DPS champion. Jester, if you've got him, he can be a skill book for you, so that's quite good again as well. And this is where you find that from those bits. I wouldn't waste life essence on summoning these champions unless you're really desperate for them, but you shouldn't, because you should be sacrificing S champions for essence, so there's no point in spending essence to buy them, quite frankly. If you want, as you're playing the game, you will collect these gear tokens, or look tokens, and you can basically then get these different looks that you can buy for your champion and apply to them. There might be a way to buy these, I don't know, I've not really looked into it that much, I'm not too bothered. You do collect them as you play anyway, so sooner or later you'll get enough to get some of these. And then here you can just buy diamonds, which again I've not been doing. Then you've got your Novice Activity. This again also has a daily login reward thing going on. It starts at day 2, then carries on, which gives you epic summoning book every day, which is really nice. There's also some stuff in here from completing and doing chapters, X amount of missions and stuff like that, and you collect rewards. So basically all of this is mostly different rewards, and you just look through it, you'll get used to it as you go along. And then obviously you've got your summoning books and whatnot. Okay, so while we're going through all this stuff at the top, one other thing to look at is the black market here. I left it to last because you don't unlock it straight away, like a lot of the other stuff. It comes in a little bit later, but basically it's a store, if you will, where you can buy stuff for in-game gold. And I say stuff, it's actually just runes, which is, as we already said, basically the gear for your phantoms. And you can refresh it for a gem cost, or you can wait an hour and it will refresh on its own. And it's actually a fairly decent place to buy some okay leveling runes, because they're not the easiest thing to come by when you first start playing the game. So this can be a good place once you unlock it to just get a few runes that target what you want. Now we discussed the runes, I believe, and how they have sets. So if you have 2 of them, it gives you this set bonus. If you have, in fact, if we click on it, it might even show you, yeah, well, like with this one, this is a score one. If you have 2 of them, it gives you this set bonus, increase crit damage by 15%. If you have 4 of them, it increases crit damage by 25%. And it's the same with all of them. They have a 2 and a 4 star, 2 and a 4 set thing. So what most people do for the most part is you have, I mean, you can have 6 of the same, and then you're technically getting 2 of that again. Or you might mix it up a bit and have 4 of one, 2 of another. And that's a good way to go with that one. And while we're at it, we were talking about the Anabasis and how it's a really good place to farm XP and do missions that are just idle missions. They're just going on in the background. They earn you XP, they earn you some good stuff. And I said about how, don't think I can show you right now due to the fact that it's currently running, but when the mission comes up, it says to you a team like this is the ideal team, and if you can get it to 100%, it gives you a chance for this bonus loot, if you will. Otherwise you just get the base. If you get the perfect, you get the bonus loot, which is better, is what you want. And one thing I didn't mention, in fact I actually only recently learnt it from a guildmate of mine. I can't remember his name, I do apologise off the top of my head right this minute, but he actually pointed out to me something that I didn't know, because I've not been playing that long myself, and that is that I thought you had to get 1 of each of these champions, and you don't actually have to do that. Whatever these champions are here, the 4 that it says you need, you can have 3 of 1, 2 and 2, all 4 exactly the same, and you can still get it to 100%. So if it's got an A class champion that you've got 4 of, by all means put all 4 in, and then you're at 100%, and you can go away and do that. And that's a really good way of just getting experience, and it makes it a lot easier to do than I thought you had to get all 4, and I was doing that initially. So the amount of times I was sending it away with 75% because I didn't have the champions to put in, it's a lot easier knowing that now, that you can actually just have 4 of the A class, or you can have the SS class plus 1 of the others, or 2. I mean, you need 4 still to make it 100%, but it's 4 of whatever, so long as you've got 4 of one of the champions that is listed there, or not literally 4 of that champion, but a combination thereof, and then you're all good and golden to go. And that's all those windows, that window. And then obviously down here you've got your mail. Now they give you a welcome thing. And this gives you 300 and X amount of gold. Like I say, gold is rare, so don't think it isn't, just because they seem to throw a lot at you early on in the game. And this is what you get for putting in a promo code from a content creator at some stage. I do hope to have my own, and I will update this video to give you that then. But you put this in and you basically get these skill tomes, you get this S tier champion, and you get a couple of books. So it's all good stuff, and it's all for free just for putting a code in. And you get that from your mail. Down here is your chat window. You can talk in different chat. Actually, let's get that right. Although it says it's the chat window, if you click on the chat, this opens up an actual chat window. And you can do all, system, world, guild, now, squad, recruitment. Obviously when you're in a squad you can just talk to your squad, and if you're actually recruiting for a squad you'll see things like this here, and you can actually click to join if you're up to that stage or trying to do that mission. If you click on here, you've got my friends, and you'll have a friends list here. You've got add friends, and you can add people. Now let's do on that actually now, and we can show you. It's a good idea to add friends in this game. There's missions and ways of skilling up your character involved with this, so it's worth doing. And also you can get free Vigor from friends, and give free Vigor to friends, so it's well worth doing. So these people are online, so we just click add randomly initially. Obviously if you join a guild you can then add all of the people in your guild, so it's worth just adding everybody you can initially. giving us a few others that we can do. See, one of them accepted, so that guy came up with a message because we've done something. We've added more friends. Then when you come here, you get this, and you see he's online, and we can go give Vigor. Now, we're actually giving him our Vigor. This gives him free Vigor from us just for clicking on the button, but it's not. And then he will get this, and if he's any sort of decent person, he will send this Vigor back to you. And you will also get free Vigor just from him clicking to send it to you. You can also raise affinities. I'm not sure what the deal is with this stuff. Mentors, profiles, spouse, all of this. I get a bit confused. I've not looked into that too much yet, so I won't discuss it. There was something I missed down here, but I don't think we can do it yet. We're not leveled enough. So in fact, we're going to play a little more of the game on this account, and we'll see if we unlock anything that you guys need to know about. And we'll cut out bits here and there, and we'll cut in bits here and there, and you can see obviously this is already a very long video at nearly an hour. Obviously it's a lot to go through. I'm trying to be in depth. I'm trying to cover everything for you guys. So you can click on the quest over here, and obviously this opens up, and then talk to the person, do whatever, get your quest rewards. It's nice and easy to move around this way. So we've now got a fight on our hands, and we're going to kill the monsters. Right, so this is how the game starts off, and you can click on your abilities, and you can manual who you're going to target and what you're going to target with. These are passive skills, these are active skills. The other thing you can do is increase the speed of the game by clicking on the X2 or X1 button here. And then above that is a little symbol over here on the right. You've got the thumb symbol, or joystick symbol, which is you controlling your character. Then there is an auto where you hit this, and you've got cogs. And a lot of people wonder, why is there two different types? We didn't get to show you it because we killed them too quickly. We will show you in the next battle. Obviously we take that bit, we're having this little chat, we're carrying on, moving on. Now as we're running, if you want to stop running and stop the auto run so you can do something, equip something, look at something, whatever you want to do, just wiggle your joystick and that will stop you auto running to a location. But we do want to go to that location now, so we're going to click on the mission again, and it takes us down to the Phantom, and we carry on. And obviously she starts showing you how to do certain things. So when you get Phantom Fragments, this is where you use them, and you basically click. If you click on a different Phantom, you don't get it, but if you click on the one that's shiny and says 60 out of 60, you then come over here, you click on the summon button, and it will now summon that champion, and you get these fragments. And once you've got enough fragments, that pieces together a champion. This is how you would get your Jester champion after day 21 or 28 or whatever it was. Once you've got all the fragments, you come in here, you'll see that it says the max amount for him. You click on him, you then click that circle, and it will summon him. You then need to leave this page, obviously, and remember that if you want to use these champions, and since they're all we've got at the moment, we'll add these. And then you have to choose position, add these to our list. This is where your enchantments will go when you unlock them. Over here you've got formation 1 and formation 2. All this means is you can quickly swap up squads. Say you have a squad of phantoms that is built around just doing general content, and then you had a different setup that you wanted for, say, the arena. The arena, you can fight other players' teams, which is really cool. This is where you would then set up a different formation for that, and you just click use on the one you want to use. The third one here is your squad formation. When you're in a squad with somebody, you can only use your main character and 2 other phantoms. So this is where you set that up. This is where you pick when you go into battle in a group. Or if you, and you can do that with friends, you can do story missions with friends, as well as doing instances like dungeons, if you will, in games like World of Warcraft or whatever. This is why I say it's like an MMO, and you can team up and do content together, and it makes it easier. But you can only use 3 champions, but bearing in mind the person you're teaming with also brings their player plus 2 phantoms, so that's 3 again. So you actually have 6 instead of 5, and you can actually have 9 instead of 5 if you have the full team of 2 players with you. This is where you set what phantoms will come into that squad with you, which is obviously a very important part. So you play through the story, it will actually show you. The tutorial is fairly good, but it doesn't cover things like movement with the joystick and stuff that they seem to think was fairly basic. Obviously the reason for a guide like this is to give you an in-depth layout of what everything is. It all looks very confusing, it does, I know there's a lot there, and people have been feeding that back to them, and they're looking at changing this. Now this is the Phantom Abode. It's like I say, like class missions that you go through, like a story mode, and you can just randomly go through this, and you go through and try and get better and better rewards and move further and further along. It's also a good place to spend spare Vigor on sending your battle assistant to just level up when you're not even playing. So as you can see, we can go to the next area now, and then we can do the next one automatically. So we'll come out of that. To come away from it, you just click out of the screen and not next. And obviously you level this higher and you get more XP the further down you go. You can, if your formation's not working, go to the formation screen from here and change your formation up. So let's talk with her, and she'll show us the activity bit, and this shows you the Phantom Abode and the battle assistant. Now I would never go to the battle assistant this way. I think it's just a weird roundabout way of doing it. Maybe they had this earlier on in the game when they first released it. Admittedly, it's only been out since October. But this is where you can say we've got... Oh, I can't see how much Vigor I've got at the moment. Oh, there you go. It's over here. 110 Vigor out of the daily 120. All that means is that Vigor replenishes over time. You get like 1 every so often. As you can see, the timer counting down until I get 1 more Vigor. Once you reach 120, it will no longer regenerate. You can have more than 120, it just will not regenerate. So if you want 3 Vigor, keep your Vigor low, and it will regenerate overnight, over time. Now here you can do this one time and hit send. You can increase the amount of times they will do this run, and obviously it takes more time each time, and it also costs double the amount of Vigor. The increase doesn't go up, it's just it costs 5 Vigor, so for every time you send them it will take 5 minutes and take 5 Vigor. But it means you can say send her out for 20 minutes and she will have gone and done 4 of these runs, giving you 4 lots of that XP, 4 lots of whatever rewards you're going to get from it. Now when you've completed an area, you can also click on this chest and get a reward from that, but you needed to have completed it by getting 3 stars on every single mission. Okay, so we're going to talk to her, and we're going to through the story, and we're going to the Phantom Alliance, Merchant Alliance, Phantom Alliance. I'm going bonkers. So you know, we're basically an hour long into this video. It is a very long video, there's a lot to discover. Now we're going to cut back to this when I've gone through a little bit more of the story, so we're in the main zone, so I can show you some of the things you can do there, and then we will end this video. This is what I meant by your career basically gives you unlocks for doing certain things. So add 1 player as a friend, we get social down 1, and it gives us a gold summoning book. Phantom thing gives us gold, and that's the ones I've unlocked at the moment. In fact, what we will do quickly, we've got 6 books, so we are going to summon our gold ones. Remember to leave those epics, and we'll show you why when we get to the main area. Not that I've got any yet, so I'd probably have to hop onto my main account to show you that anyway. Alright, so we only got S tier or A tier. not ideal, but you know. Okay, so we've cut out a little bit I was doing there, and we're back on the character screen. I wanted to show you some stuff here that I think needs to be said in a beginner's guide so that you have a better idea of what you're doing with it. So basically, obviously you equip gear as you get it. Some will auto equip early on and some won't. Now when you look at gear, it basically, you've got different sets. Initially you'll be getting the gold set, but there's like the jade set, the tide set, I don't know, a whole host of them. Generally considered for leveling, the gold set is considered to be the best. The reason for this being is when you look down, discard what it says here. Well, not discard, this is important for your character, but what I'm talking about is just for the set bonus at the moment and what set you pick. So if you look down here, it says gold set 3 out of 6 and tells me which pieces I'm wearing. Now for 4 pieces of this set I get max HP 8%, and I believe that's across all my phantoms, or it might just be me actually, I think. But if you've got a full set of 6, all your allies take 15% less damage, so that means all your phantoms will take 15% less damage. Other sets increase the damage that you do, but not necessarily your phantoms, but this one's a good one for keeping your phantoms up and keeping you going early on, and it tells you where you can get them. Now there are different types of weapons in this game. You get magic staffs, axes and sabres. Sabres are by and far considered the best by many players because they increase your speed by a much higher amount, meaning you can go first and quicker. Okay, so basically when we're looking at the gear, your speed determines how high your attack bar is going to be and how quickly you go. Certain champions like that Sea Conqueror are considered good because they can reduce the enemy to attack bar and increase your team's attack bar, which is great. It means they go less often and slower, and you're much faster and you go more often, and that's what it means effectively. So the axe is considered to be more of a tanking weapon, and is probably the slowest. The staff is considered kind of a medium DPS weapon. It maybe does more damage, and it does a magic attack damage as opposed to a physical attack damage. The axe and the saber both do physical attacks, but the saber is considered the best generally because it's got much faster speed on it. But it does mean you're doing physical attacks, and you must bear that in mind. Now the ice saber is considered to be very good a lot of the time because quite often it has a chance to freeze somebody. This automatically ice seal blade has a chance to absorb the attack bar by 50%. When attacking an enemy with cold status, additionally attack enemy extra damage, and some of these ice weapons have a chance to freeze opponents, which is very good. So we will be going for this one, and we'll swap that in. And effectively this is why you want, so I personally go saber because I think it's faster, it's better for the arena, it's better for everywhere really. Although it's not necessarily going to be the highest damage, so bear that in mind, but I do generally prefer it, and you see a lot more people running around with sabers than you do anything else for this reason, because it is the fastest weapon that you can equip. And then gold and tide are both considered to be 2 of the top gear sets for you to wear on your character. Now this gear, the stats are important obviously. Physical defense, melee defense, magic defense. Now obviously if you have attack there, if your attack is based on magic on the stat, you don't want to use it if you're using a saber because you're not actually going to be increasing your damage. Likewise, if you're using a staff for a weapon, you do not want to use one that says doing melee damage on it because you won't be increasing your damage. And then obviously what you want is based on what you need really, but HP, physical defense, magic attack, physical attack, crit rate, crit damage, speed. Speed is king in this game, as in many games. The faster you go, the more often you go, the more likely you are to win. In particular in the arena, more so I would say, but it really just helps you everywhere. So that's a quick basic on gear. Okay, so now we're back in a normal battle. We can discuss what we were saying before about how to use this. So obviously we said this changes your speed from what normal speed to 2 times speed. This is fully player controlled. The next cog is semi-auto, so you can use your enchantments manually. And then the third one is fully auto, and the computer will actually do everything for you and use your enchantments. And those are the 3 levels of manual auto and semi-auto, and what they each mean. Okay, so here we are on my main account, and this is where we're going to end the video. So if we open up the map, this is the main area you find yourself in after the initial first part of the story, and where you'll then spend most of your time, not most of your time, obviously you can be out battling, doing the story in various different areas, but any time you want to be doing stuff in town, talking to people, doing daily quests, things like that, it will be here. So in fact, let's actually discuss that for the moment. So if you want to do the arena, and it's a good idea to do it early on, you can quite often find, as early as you can anyway, you can quite often find lower level players to beat at least 1 or 2 here or there based on their level and BM versus yours. And this is also because there's a good lot of people here. This, obviously, I will advise that if you want to pull your epic summoning books, join a guild. Most guilds will have say Discord or some other way of chatting to each other. Go and talk to your guild, tell them that you want to summon epic books, and they'll get a few guys together to come and help you do it. If you don't want to do that initially, I advise you do it. It's by far the best way of doing it. But if you don't want to do it initially, find a busy area like this where there's people moving around. Unfortunately, this actually currently is not probably the best spot for it, because nobody's really moving around here. You've got everyone stood there who's doing the arena, which is at this location, and very few moving around, so nobody's likely to join in and help me here. And we'll show you what I mean in a minute. But basically, when you summon an epic book, you can get up to 4 people to help you, and every person helping you increases your chances of pulling better champions, or phantoms, if you will. So let's see if we can show you somewhere else. There's various different bits. You'll have a look around. You've got the blacksmith over here, merchants and different quest givers all around. If you come down to here, there's the Warrant Board, where you can do these daily, again, sort of daily quests, and you talk to the person here. This will give you the warrants. You can only do 1 at a time, and some may be too hard for you to do. I don't think you can do them straight at the start anyway, but basically it gives you this stuff if you go and do these things, and it's kill these enemies in this location. So make sure it's ones that you've faced before. Like if you're on the sea area, you can probably do that one. If you and you generally need an idea of, have you been in the area, have you faced dwarves, have you faced tide people, have you faced, so have an idea of the enemies you've faced before you click on that one. Again, this is an area where a lot of people congregate, so it could be a good area for summoning. So there's a few people stood around, so what we're going to do is we go on summon, and you go on your epic summoning book. I currently have 2. I don't really want to waste it, but I will just for the guide, just to show you. So you click on this, and what happens is you see this circle open up, and people will join in and they'll help you. So you see that's gone 1 of 4 participating. What you want is 4 of 4 for the best chance. There's a countdown here. Once you've got all 4, you can hit summon if every spot's full, and that will do that. If not, wait for the timer to count down. You'll still have a slightly higher percentage to summon better stuff with more people in than none. So this is why I say save until you're in an area like this where there's a lot of people around. You can even go into the general chat and say, I want to do a pulling session. Anybody by the Warrant Board want to help out, wait a minute or two, see if you get some answers, and do it that way if you don't want to talk to your guild. But it really is a good idea to do it with your guild instead. And that's basically summoning. We've covered that. Now we're on my account, which is a little more unlocked. We can show you the mastery test. Obviously you've got your enchantments down here. These you unlock at a certain level, and they basically allow you to do abilities in your fight on top of your other abilities, and you can also rank these up and get more skills on those. The other thing I wanted to show you quickly before we leave is the mastery test, which you unlock at a certain stage. Each level of mastery basically boosts your skills, and earlier on it's easier and it gets harder and harder. So for me, I've got to evolve a phantom 60 times, spend X amount of diamonds, defeat demon tower level 80 out of 100, boost equipment 6 times to level 6, boost runes 6 times to level 6, complete the lottery and the royal trove so many times. All this stuff, once you've done this, you then hit begin and you will do a fight. You win the fight and you basically gain sort of a rank up star. So you start off with bronze stars and you can go up to 3. As you see, this chap here has got 2 bronze stars. I've got 1 silver. This chap over here has 2 silver, and you basically progress and it increases your stats. Now, something to bear in mind with this game is your stats from your character based on your gear also affect your phantoms, because they get 5% of all your stats. And that's effectively it, guys. So this is my in-depth beginner's guide to Summoner's Glory. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if there's anything you're still confused about, you don't think I've covered well enough, by all means reach out, let me know. I can maybe do a separate video to cover those things, or and certainly I'll probably try and reach out and help you individually anyway where I can, if there's not too many. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and more people should watch it. And if you like the content, please hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and you'll get notified next time I release a video. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm IceMan. Bye for now.